Hello everybody, this is not Michael Cole, this is Professional Wrestling Machine, and of course this is finally WrestleMania 38, the most stupendous in history. Let's jump right into it. The kickoff took 2 hours of time but did not represent any match. There were too many unfamiliar people just to get excited. In the first match of the first night, the Uso brothers defended against the popular duo of Rick Books and Shinsuke Nakamura, where Books and Shin were dominating just right before Rick Books' knee buckled under weight of Jimmy and Jay Usos. So he got legitimately injured and will be out of action for some time. Because of that, Shinsuke left alone and couldn't handle all that, and the Usos beat him. It became crystal clear that Roman cannot lose his championship before Jimmy and Jay losing tag team championships. Drew McIntyre finally got his hands on Happy Corbin, but of course Corbin is hard to take on guy, and that's why it wasn't easy even for Drew. At one point Corbin even hit deadly end of days that nobody has ever kicked out of, but Drew McIntyre managed to break the streak of this highly protected finisher and kicked out of it for the first time. Then he hit Future Shock and the Claymore and won that match, and of course finished this strange rivalry. After the match he nearly killed Madcap Moss with his sword by destroying the ring in the process. The Mysterious against The Miz and Logan Paul didn't pretend to be something special or to lay an eye on. But to my, and I think everyone's surprise, Lucha Logan fared quite well there. For example, he pulled off 3 amigos, hit the frog splash, what added even more heat to his persona. In the end, Mysterious were about to finish Logan Paul, but The Miz secretly tagged himself in and hit Ray with the Skull Crusher and got the pinfall, at least the win for The Miz. And after the match, The Miz took the spotlight in his own hands and delivered the Skull Crusher to Lucha Logan. And it doesn't mean anything, The Miz just outsmarted him to show that this is his moment. Stephanie McMahon presented the Olympic gold medalist and the future WWE megastar Gable Steveson. And the very next match is so special. We have Seth freaking Rollins, who has a one-on-one match against a mystery opponent of Mr. McMahon himself's choosing. There could be many names to be dropped, for example Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, John Cena, Gable Steveson, Gunther, but definitely the biggest anticipated one was Cody Rhodes, who was one of the biggest AEW stars for the last 3 years and became the first big name to leave AEW. And then they even made us wait, then the fire exploded, then the lights went off, and finally! Such an awesome and maybe the biggest WrestleMania 38 moment. The match itself also did not disappoint, as they were slowly warming up, catching up with intrigue, and then delivered, showed off their entire arsenal, all of their tricks, all of their classic moves. If you somehow have not done it yet, this is must watch. Just go and watch this whole segment. Regarding the winner, Cody hit 2 crossroads, the bionic elbow and 1 more crossroads to get the win. And you know what? Reminds me of Styles Rollins match from 2019. And I want to see one more match between Cody and Seth, as they are similar in styles. And of course, hearing this song in WWE at WrestleMania was surreal. Next segment, WWE presented their newest Hall of Famers, including the headliner of this ceremony, The Undertaker, who made his special appearance. And the main event of the first night is the biggest KO show in history with Stone Cold Steve Austin. First, he wanted to apologize, yes, to apologize, for telling an absolute truth about Texas. He said he will bring Stone Cold out whenever he wants, but nobody tells the rattlesnake what to do, and he finally came out under huge cheers of gigantic crowd. No, he drove down the ramp on his MTV, joined the ring and the seat. Kevin Owens first welcomed Steve, told, let's just calm down. I want to have a nice conversation. But Stone Cold told him everything he thinks of him. Owens told Texas in summer is hot as hell, people wear jackass hats, but this was just a warm-up, and it would be way too strange to have a talk show in the main event of WrestleMania, so eventually Kevin Owens asked him for a no-holds-barred match, and after minutes of thinking, Stone Cold accepted. And before all this WrestleMania, I didn't want a match for Stone Cold, because he officially retired 19 years ago, but after watching this match, I realized that he is still good. He was stomping a mud hole out of Kevin Owens, turned him inside out with a clothesline. He was drinking his trademark beer from time to time, They sparked brawl in the crowd. Austin spit some beer into Kevin Owens' face. He took him to the top of the ramp on his MTV, and well, Owens managed to hit one stunner, but Austin showed his resiliency and kicked out, and Steve hit one of his own, and of course beat Kevin Owens. Later, Owens got up on his feet, and if he did, why not one more stunner? Also celebrating with referee, also called for Byron Saxton, and you can't just refuse when he's calling for you, and plus one more stunner, plus celebrating with his brother. I couldn't stop laughing there, it was hilarious. The first night was so great in many aspects, I give 9 out of 10. And here we go to the second night. Once more they wasted 2 hours talking, but the show started in a big way as Triple H, who recently retired, opened the second night, thanked all the fans, and welcomed them to WrestleMania. The first bout is triple threat tag team match with 3 excellent teams combined, kicking off the show. The best way for warm up, because you knew they could not fail as they all faced each other a million times. There were no gaps, no space, every second all the way. Similar to that classic match from Revolution 1 month ago. And of course, Riddle's fantastic RKO to Montez Ford from the third rope and the classic one from Randy Orton to Chad Gable, and as a result they retained. Also they invited Gable Stevenson for party. Chad Gable interrupted and got suplexed by Stevenson. The undefeated Omos battled the almighty Bobby Lashley. It was a 6-minute match where Omos dominated Bobby Lashley almost the entire match, but Lashley managed to overpower him once, deliver vertical suplex, spear to the back, and one classic spear to win. As I see it, Lashley is one of their priceless sets, whereas Omos is still such a green guy who needs to learn more how to do it. And he is much younger, so if he works properly, he will have his time. But now he desperately needs a manager. The best way is for MVP to turn on Lashley, and another option is Malcolm Bivens, because he's a small guy and will make Omos look way bigger. Sami Zayn vs Johnny Knoxville in a comedy match where anything goes. Right from the beginning, Sami hit the Helluva Kick but didn't want to finish early, then he was disrespecting Jackass forever. He was usually dominating Knoxville, but Johnny answered on many occasions by his tricks and traps. Also, his Jackass forever friends Party Boy and Women interfered, but Sami Zayn kicked the hell out of both. Many funny spots, so many tricks like mouse trap, stun gun, nippers, big hand, and eventually trapping him in a trap machine where Johnny Knoxville pinned him. And here I have a question. Yes, Johnny Knoxville and the entire Jackass Forever are special guests for WrestleMania season, but Sami Zayn is your WWE star, who is functioning on an excellent level. Great mic skills, great character. So in case of Zayn's win, it would add so much more heat to his persona, and could finally lead to a deserved push. What a fucked up moment. Never mind, we have a highly anticipated dream match between 2 legends, Edge vs AJ Styles. And I can say that their feud has just only started and their story is such a green as for now. So it's too early to talk about it, but at least this was the longest match of this WrestleMania. Reversal after reversal. For their age, it's near 5 stars. So the match ended after Damian Priest appeared to distract Styles, and Edge speared him in midair. Then Edge and Priest united to form a new heel stable. This is just the beginning of some new big story. Seamus and Holland attacked the New Day. And the best thing in this segment was Butch, who was desperately trying to attack Kofi and Xavier during the match, and distracting referee, what allowed Seamus to hit 2 brogue kicks, and Holland to hit Northern Grid to win the match. Also Butch tried to kill Xavier after the match, but Seamus and Holland pulled him off like parents pulling off an angry kid. What a funny moment. The Undertaker appeared once again. Mr. McMahon presented Austin Theory, called him the future Universal Champion. Pat McAfee came out with 7 Nation Army. And this rivalry is kinda nice. Austin Theory is like a punk hiding behind the boss. And then Pat McAfee, who always says whatever he wants and is not afraid of anyone. In the match, McAfee showed his incredible athleticism, as he did in NXT. Crowd was chanting for him. He even got to commentate during the match. And when Austin was going for a count down, McAfee countered into a roll-up and got the win. But this wasn't over. Mr. McMahon decided to compete against Pat McAfee in a freaking match. Austin Theory attacked him from behind, and the boss was playing with him. Austin attacked him again, and McMahon should have been disqualified, but who would ever disqualify him? And of course the boss earned the victory. and they started celebration. And it took some long time. But it's time for justice. And here comes the rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin, who kicked the hell out of that rat, Austin Theory, and gave him a Think of Beauty stunner. Started toasting with McMahon. And here comes the greatest stunner of all time. Then invited McAfee to celebrate. And here comes another beer stunner. Austin is celebrating. What a party. And the main event of night 2 of WrestleMania 38. The biggest WrestleMania match of all time. Championship unification. WWE Championship versus Universal Championship. Two of the biggest and most dominant stars in wrestling of the past 10 years. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Brock removed his gloves and started manhandling Roman Reigns, delivering multiple suplexes, clothesline, but he got distracted by Paul Heyman and Roman speared him through the barricade. As Brock got back to the ring, the big dog speared him one more time. Brock kicked out. Then Lesnar suplexed him one more time, hit F5, Roman kicked out. And he speared Brock into referee, hit low blow, hit him with the championship. And even after all of this, Brock Lesnar kicked out at the last moment. Spear to the back, Lesnar grabbed the rope. One more normal spear, but in the process Brock countered into Kimura lock and held him there for a long time until Heyman pushed the rope to force a break. But then Lesnar snapped and literally broke his arm. The big dog said his arm is out. Lesnar went for F5 to finish, but somehow Reigns countered for spear and won the match. But if this wasn't for injury that Reigns got, this match would last much longer. But still, there was so many devastating spots. And what's next to do with this guy? He now has 2 world championships. Is he going to work double duty? Or he is legitimately injured and after reaching 600 days as champion he will relinquish? Very interesting situation. And for this second night I give 8 stars. So for entire WrestleMania it's 8.5 stars. What's really nice result. Way better than last year. Good night everybody. This is not Michael Cole. This is Professional Wrestling Machine. See you later.